So hi, I'm Jonathan Goldsmith, the VP and GM of Payroll at Remote.
And hello, I'm Rebecca Applewhite, the Director of Solutions Consulting at Remote. So before we tell you a little bit about how we use Monday.com, let me get started with an introduction to Remote. At Remote, we make it easy for people to hire, manage, pay talent anywhere in the world without complexity. We take away the borders so that organizations can grow and scale quickly. And at Remote, we are indeed fully remote. We have about 2,000 people based in all corners of the world working together across time zones. So, Jonathan, that's Remote. What is it like running payroll at Remote?
Well, payroll is all around the world, of course, and my team is in over 55 countries. So we definitely have a scaling challenge, and our teams were growing really, really fast. And that was the complexity that it brought to our lives. So there was Monday.com. It came in, and it started to help solve some of these problems. Our business operations team was searching for a partner to help us grow, scale, communicate together, and have adoption across all the borders that we have. So we wanted to make sure that we had a single source of truth. So today we're going to show you two very different teams at Remote. Payroll and Talent Ops used Monday.com to drive alignment, increase visibility, and deliver results. Two teams, two products, one connected strategy. So before Monday.com, as is my team is all over the place, they're all working in silos. They're using spreadsheets, they're using PDFs, they're using documents all over the place, and all these legacy tools. Nothing was integrated, and there was no single source of truth for myself or anybody on the team. Of course, deadlines slipped. People didn't get most of the work done that they might be focused on because they didn't know who to talk to. And we were very reactive. And people weren't clear on who they needed to spoke to, what needed to happen, a why, a when, a how. So it was quite a challenge. So our velocity was impacted, and it was a big problem for me. But what really happened was team morale. And the issue was that the culture just started to drag. It just went down because people didn't feel like they were getting the efficiencies that they desired. So we needed to make a change.
That is a long list of challenges. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about what were you looking for solutions? How did you find the right partner?
Yeah, so the payroll team, they signed the contract for Monday. Wow, it's almost 3 years ago now, and I think it was at Elevate 2022. So I'm standing here at Elevate 2025, and we've come full circle. For me, actually, it's just another stop on the relationship, and it's not really a circle, it's just going to continue. So we needed a single system of ownership. We needed something that was globally distributed. We needed something that all my remote teams, all my individuals, all 300 of them, could use together. We wanted real-time ownership and visibility, and we wanted visibility into how everybody was working and what resources that I had available to me. So Monday checked all these boxes. It was easy to use, it was consumer grade, intuitive, flexible, and it's really something our team actually wanted not only to get, but to use. It really made them excited, and they just actually love checking in on the app every day and using either the desktop app or anything like that. So Monday makes it easy to use it in any way that you want and create workflows and do all the other things that we can imagine.
So you mentioned your team and your resources. We know that the payroll team at Remote is incredibly busy. Let's talk a little bit about how you use Monday to track time and allocate resources in the day without trying to find that 25th hour.
I still need the 25th hour, but not for the Monday stuff. I still had to find it because we are running payroll in over 100 countries. So there are a lot of tasks to do, and everybody needs to know what they need to work on. So we need a shared operational language. Even though we have all the cultures that are under our organization, and some people speaking different languages, we needed a platform that could really break down those barriers and cross over. So what we do, and we really need to know how long does it take to run payroll, or how long does it take to implement a customer. So we actually created boards that track all of those tasks. There's a clock that runs, and our team checks off the clock on or off as they complete those tasks. So I didn't have this before. I had no idea where the inefficiencies were and where I could improve things. So I created a closed feedback loop with that. I saw the process, I saw the execution, and the improvement. So I was able to take some tasks and talk to product and say, I need these things. Can you improve it? And then we created SOPs and other efficiencies. So really, this initiative made me able to say, okay, I'm going to build this one product thing, and it's going to save me 5 minutes, 5 hours, 10 hours. And for me, that means I don't need to increase headcount. I can process more pay slips. I can get more customers online. So it's really easy for implementation and for usability. So it's a roadblock completely removed. So it's giving me full operational feedback with data to make every decision. So Rebecca, I know you work directly with product because every SC loves shiny objects. So did you get visibility into what's coming for product?
Well, I do love shiny objects, but before I tell you about my problems, I'm interested to know, is there anyone in the room here that works with their amazing product teams, but sometimes struggles to get visibility on exactly what is in that product roadmap? Show of hands, any problems? I'm glad I'm not the only one, and that Remote is not alone in this struggle. So one of our biggest challenges was that our product roadmap at Remote used to live exclusively in a tool called Linear, which is fabulous for product and engineering teams. The trouble was that nobody else in the organization had access to Linear. So it's really difficult for teams that had dependencies on roadmap details and milestones to understand what was being built, where things stood, and how they could plan their own work in context. So what we did was integrate that Linear roadmap straight into Monday. And now the roadmap is accessible to anybody who is working on projects that are linked to product roadmap. Teams can comment to, track, and plan their work with full reference and visibility. And something that I really love about our product roadmap board is that we can group very specific product roadmap items by theme. And to give you a payroll-specific example, there are many items on our product roadmap that are related to payroll, onboarding, automation improvements. And there are many teams at Remote that are using this in their day-to-day lives. So by grouping that into a theme, we were able to provide those teams with the information they needed to execute their day-to-day jobs efficiently and be fully looped into what was coming. So I'm happy because I can see everything that is being built. But Jonathan, how do we make the money?
All right, I'm going to show you the money. I'm going to tell you how we make the money. So everybody that knows Monday, you have your favorite implementation boards. Okay, you have your top few that you just think are amazing. My favorite is the pricing board. And I have to say, when I had this idea, I wasn't sure it was going to be possible. But my team pushes Monday and Monday's service to find us solutions for our problems. So I need to know what the cost per payslip is for me. I need to know my non-headcount cost and my headcount cost. So the team brought all this information into the board. And so when they built that, it was my one-stop shop. So I could see the contracts that have been built into my system. I could see the first year, the second year, the third year of my costs. And what we were pulling in the amount of pay slips I run every month in that country. And real time, I could actually see what the costs were. So when sales came to me, I could say, this is the kind of space you have to work with. These are the margins we're working on. And we could change real time sort of how we were selling something and the commercials we could do for there. I also like it that it shows me my step-down pricing. So all my contracts would have sliding scales, and as those pay slips increased, I can see I can actually do better commercials and create better margins for us. So the other nice thing is that I can see as contracts progress, and actually we're running through a 2-year contract, a 3-year contract, a 4-year contract, I see a countdown clock. So for example, it helps me really with negotiation because the team is preparing all the data we require to help negotiate a lower price. So for instance, we created a Monday.com board for Monday to help with our negotiations coming up so we can get a cheaper price than we had before. So I'm very excited to use that one. So it helps us make our strategic decisions and have a focus where we need to invest next.
I'm sure the Monday.com account team are excited to get into negotiations with you based on that board.
I think mine's here, so afterwards we'll talk.
OK, so before we tell you about our second use case, I'm intrigued whether there's anybody here today that started to use Monday.com because you saw another team at your organization using it, loving it, and you were jealous. Anybody? Yeah, OK, great. So we had exactly this happen at Remote. The payroll team rolled out these amazing systems, and our talent operations team saw what was happening, saw the progress that was being made, and thought, can we have some of that? So at Remote, our talent operations team supports hiring people across our worldwide locations. And like the payroll team, they were also dealing with scattered tools, multiple stakeholders in different time zones, limited visibility into the end-to-end processes, and manual chaos that was coming from these inefficient systems. And one example was that they were just being inundated with requests for new hires from everybody, everywhere, all at once. They saw how Monday Work Management was working for the payroll team and realized that possibly Monday Service could solve some of their pain points. Same principles, same platform, but a slightly different use case. Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit more about the challenges they had?
I definitely can. And if you can get anything out of these 20 minutes, we have created boards to cover so many different use cases. And that is the flexibility it provided for us. So it's really exciting because I have more ideas that the team is going to build, but it makes life a lot easier. But in this case, before Monday Service, inbound requests for headcount would come through Slack, they would come through email, they would come from huddles I was in, all sorts of stuff. So how keeping track of that was nearly impossible. And every good manager likes to say, I already asked you for that headcount, you already approved it. I go, I don't think so. Let's do it. Let's do something different. So every request for headcount runs through a Monday board, and it has a work form. And that work form shows the business case for the new headcount. So I am able to review that, and if I decide I'm able to actually approve it, that approval has an automation that then goes to FP&A, and they give me a rec ID that's approved, that it automatically goes to our recruitment team, and then it opens up in Greenhouse, which is really seamless. And let me tell you, that saved so much time for us, and it's so much more efficient. And as it moves through statuses in Greenhouse, it updates my Monday board. So when something closes out in Greenhouse, we've hired someone, it closes in the Monday board, and then I can move a new headcount in, and it automatically moves it down in the different parts of the board. So it's totally seamless between three departments that were in silos before. So Rebecca, what about the automation features? You're an SC, you love new shiny objects. So automation and AI, what do you got in the Monday platform that makes it so amazing?
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about some of the features that our team loves. Well, first of all, you've talked a lot about integrations. Bringing a lot of different tools and systems into Monday.com has been game-changing for our teams. Secondly, we use the AI features to save us time and cut down on the repetitive tasks, such as drafting email responses that live inside the workflows themselves. And thirdly, the data that's provided in the dashboards provides excellent insights to our leaders, building trust and helping them to interact with the team really effectively. It gives data to leaders like Jonathan and makes them smarter. Right, Jonathan?
Perception is not reality in this case, but in this area, I think I'm a little bit smarter.
So a couple of examples. We can see quickly if job postings spike in a particular location, or perhaps looking at our backfills and inquiring whether we might need to do something about our retention strategy. Equally, we can see immediately if job postings are starting to remain open for longer than we think, and address, perhaps by reposting the job, fine-tuning the description, or even thinking through the talent strategy entirely with a different location. So all in all, talent operations now have clear ownership and visibility, and the talent team has the data to really prove their impact to the business. Not only that, but the implementation of this for the talent team was super fast. It was actually implemented in under a week. This happened because we're already using Monday.com in the payroll team, and in fact, many in the payroll team became internal champions and advocates for the tool. We were able to use an effective train-the-trainer type approach to get that implementation really fast. And the outcomes are super impressive too. The talent team have cut down and eliminated over 1,000 Slack messages a month. And you can only imagine the kind of capacity and focus that creates. They also managed to hit 100% compliance of their SLA targets across hundreds of requests. So that's enabled the team to start doing the job that they wanted to do, be a strategic talent partner to the business. They said, we knew we had great ideas, we just did not have the capacity to act on them, and now we do.
So whether it's payroll, it's vendor strategy, it's roadmap visibility, one-day work management brought simplicity to all of our challenging problems.
And with Monday Service, our talent teams are now supporting our global growth with much more clarity and confidence than ever before.
So we started with a few boards, and nearly 3 years ago, and now we're back here at Elevate 2025, which is just amazing. And it's embedded in everything we operate. And quite frankly, we could not be at the success that we are without it. And so it's been an incredible partnership. And additionally, I love the services team at Monday. We push them harder, we come up with new ideas, they go, nobody's ever tried to do that, and we figure out how to do it together, which is amazing. It's not just a product, it's also a service. So really, my team sitting out there makes it possible for all this to happen. I think having internal champions is amazing. But to everyone sitting out here right now, in the audience here at Elevate 2025, think about where you could be in 2 or 3 years, and you might just be here on this stage telling your story and being here and connecting with the whole audience. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.